mas pinalakas na pagbabalita, komentaryong walang mintis, iba't ibang entertainment. Radyo natin to! Radyo natin to!
With a budget of over 7 billion pesos, Marcos vows more airport upgrades until 2028. Marcos slams budget petition, calls it destabilization effort. The Bureau of Immigration says alleged Chinese spies embedded themselves in the Philippines with perfect records. The Manila LGU says funding for Isla Puting Bato relocation yet to materialize. High inflation expectations hinder economic goals, according to an economist. The Philippines arrests 100 suspects in online scam farm raid. Vlogger Ros Martan's beauty soaps flagged by the FDA. And in sports, San Miguel eliminated from playoffs for the first time since 2015. This and more on Newsline Weekend. Good morning, I'm Raymond Kaibigan. Newsline Weekend begins right now. And for those of you watching on Facebook and in YouTube, glad you can join us. Topping the weekend news with a budget of over 7 billion pesos, Marcos vows more airport upgrades until 2028. More airports across the Philippines will undergo facelifts in the next 4 years, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has vowed. At the opening of the new runway at the Mactan Cebu International Airport on Thursday, January 30, Marcos said his administration has earmarked 7.7 billion pesos for the upgrade of 15 airports nationwide. It's only a snapshot of all the exciting things that are happening in our airport infrastructure. It is part of our broader vision to advance the development of our country's infrastructure, said the president. Through this program, we can construct, rehabilitate, and enhance runways, taxiways, ramps, control towers, passenger terminals, while at the same time acquiring state-of-the-art navigational equipment, he added. MCAI has been owned by Aboitiz Infra Capital since October 2024. The Marcos administration has championed public-private partnerships in upgrading airports, awarding long-term concession agreements to billionaires conglomerates. The Ninoy Aquino International Airport is now operated by a consortium led by billionaire Ramon Ang San Miguel Corporation, while AIC bagged contracts to upgrade the Bohol Panglao International Airport and the Laguindingan International Airport in northern Mindanao. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has dismissed, as part of a destabilization effort, the filing of a petition in the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of 2025 national budget. They want the government to cease working so that they can continue to the destabilization that they are doing, the president said during his speech at Mactan Cebu International Airport on Thursday. He also expressed confidence in the government's legal position despite mounting criticisms over the General Appropriations Act. We're very confident that our case is strong, the chief executive maintained. Marcos spoke out after a petition was filed by his former executive secretary Victor Rodriguez and Davao City Representative Isidro Ungab, who questioned the budget's legality. He also reiterated that Solicitor General Menardo Guevara has assured that the government's defense would be rock solid. I don't know why they bothered to file that because they made a difficult assertion. Anyway, it's not for me to make the argument, the president added. The petition filed just days earlier by Rodriguez and Ungab alleges that the GAA was signed off with blank spaces that should have been addressed before Congress ratified it. Marcos also took aim at former President Rodrigo Duterte, who had claimed that the annual budget contained blank spaces to be filled later. Duterte, as a former chief executive, should know perfectly well that it doesn't even happen, Marcos said last week, refuting the former president's statement. On Thursday, Marcos disclosed that he personally reviewed the 4,057-page GAA before signing it into law and found no issues with the document. I cannot find those damned blank items. We'll keep looking, but I'm convinced they simply do not exist because they are not allowed to exist, he told the 20th National Convention of Lawyers in Cebu City. In other news, the Bureau of Immigration has revealed that the 5 Chinese nationals arrested for espionage activities in Palawan and Manila have been staying in the country for years, blending themselves into the local society. According to BI spokesperson Dana Sandoval, the 5 suspects, Chai Xiaohuang, Cheng Taihao, Wu Chengting, Wang Yongyi, and Wu Chinran, had a perfect record as they were granted with visas in their regular travel in and out of the country. They had no issues coming in and going into the Philippines, Sandoval said in a press briefing on Thursday. The group was caught collecting real-time information on military activities, allegedly monitoring the movement of Philippine Coast Guard and the Philippine naval vessels, including their resupply mission in the West Philippine Sea. Some of those arrested have links to various Filipino-Chinese organizations, including the Shaoxing Voluntary Group and the Philippine-China Association of Promotion of Peace and Friendship Incorporated. Jeremy Lotok, chief of the Cybercrime Division of the National Bureau of Investigation, said that the suspects had even reportedly posed as members of medical missions. He said the Chinese nationals also claimed that they had frequented Palawan to look for suppliers of lobsters. Their covert activities reportedly involved the installation of solar-powered CCTV cameras that tracked the movement of Philippine military vessels in key areas such as Buliluyan Town in Palawan, where PCG vessels are deployed for critical missions. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief General Romeo Bronner also disclosed that the information gathered was transmitted in real time. However, the NBI did not reveal any further details on the suspected transmission. Despite mounting evidence of spying activities, authorities have yet to confirm whether these operations were directed by the Chinese government or a third-party entity. In the meantime, Filipinos are encouraged to report any suspicious activities, especially those related to foreign nationals operating in sensitive military zones. The arrested suspects will face charges of espionage under Commonwealth Act number 616. In other news, the funding for the relocation plan for residents of Isla Puting Bato has yet to materialize, despite getting signed in 2019, according to the office of the Manila Mayor spokesperson, Princess Abante. The plan itself has been pending for over a decade now. So, as it is, hindi pa rin sila mabibigyan ng permanent housing doon and hindi rin naman natin sila basta pwedeng paalisin doon without any relocation. Ang problema din sa relocation, a lot of our informal settlers, kahit mabigyan sila ng mga inaudible, they still go back doon sa area kasi doon yung kanilang source of income, Abante said. Adequate relocation, whether temporary or permanent, is required prior to eviction of the homeless or underprivileged, according to the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992 or RA number 7279. The Philippine Ports Authority allotted land for the relocation project done with the National Housing Authority and the Manila City Government. Senator Cynthia Bellar attended the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding this in 2019, but the lawmaker refused to comment on the possibility of relocation following the fires. For now, the local government is only able to provide financial assistance. 800 families affected by the fire in November received 30,000 pesos according to Abante. Inassure naman kami na DHSUD na by I think ngayong February mabibigyan na din yung remaining na 1,100 families doon sa kanilang financial assistance. And the same assistance will be given doon naman sa mga recently lang din na nasunugan, Abante told the media. Coming up next on Newsline Weekend. High inflation expectations hinder economic goals, according to an economist. The Philippines arrest 100 suspects in online scam farm raid. Flaveros Martan's beauty soaps flagged by the FDA. And in sports, San Miguel eliminated from playoffs for the first time since 2015. This and more when Newsline Weekend returns after the break.
Baho lang ng anit.
Mabahong anit? Mag-new Head and Shoulders every day para kahit malapit, fresh ang anit.
Shemalin, mag-refresh ka na sa hapon man o sa malapitan.
New Head and Shoulders for 100% dandruff-free hair. No visible flakes with regular use.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupis na dumit-mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang lamada.
Mula noon, hanggang ngayon. All you need is pride. All you need is pride. Easy as Skynet. Iwan ang distraction. Magic ang kailan. Mag-focus sa moments with pride. Sarap isama-samang litrato. Dala ng Coca-Cola. Tawanan at kwento. Walang maiiwan. Sa bonding. Pumusta ng puso. Coca-Cola ang galing. Dahil everyone. Everyday sa bahay daming activities. Kaya breakfast pa lang, give them champion energy. Milo breakfast every day. Milo breakfast every day. Help jumpstart your day with a balanced diet, healthy lifestyle, and an energized, nutritious breakfast with Milo. May winning combination of milk, champion energy nutrients, at choco multi-sarap. Milo breakfast every day. Milo breakfast every day. Healthy jumpstart your day. Milo every day. Dalawa, tatlo.
Sinong mananalo? 4, 5, 6.
Fix na nga natin.
Vicks Vapor Rub nagbibigay ginhawa mula sa 6 na simptomas ng sipon.
7, 8 siya. Mabuti ng pakiramdam.
You're still tuned in to Radyo Natin To, 103.5 News FM. I'm Raymond Kaibigan for Newsline Weekend. The Philippine economic growth failed to reach the government's target due to high inflation expectations, an economist said. Speaking to media, Jonathan Reveles, a senior advisor at Reyes Takandong and Company, explained that people still feel high prices, creating expectations of a slower policy rate cuts from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So meaning cost of doing business remained high and elevated and was very different from the expectations at the early part of the year, he said. He noted that expectations of more aggressive rate cut from the United States Federal Reserve failed to materialize in 2024 after it only eased the policy rate by 100 basis points in 2024. Ravelas added that the BSP also did not deliver a 100 BPS rate last year. The Philippine Statistics Authority earlier announced that the economy expanded by 5.2% in the fourth quarter, bringing the full year gross domestic product or GDP to 5.6%. This is lower than the 6% to 6.5% economic goal of the government amid subdued consumption and lower farm output. In December, headline inflation accelerated to 2.9% from 2.5% reported in November, bringing the average consumer price index or CPI to 3.2% in 2024, according to the latest data from the PSA. It attributed the increase to the faster annual increment in prices of housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. Meanwhile, the U.S. Federal Reserve maintained the interest rates in the 4.25 to 4.50% target range while waiting for further inflation and employment data, as well as clarity on the impact of U.S. President Donald Trump's policies. On the other hand, BSP Governor Eli Remolana Jr. previously signaled further rate cut this year, citing the current restrictive monetary policy, but he did not said this will likely be implemented gradually. Ravelas expects the economy to grow by 5.5% in the first quarter, as he expects the GDP to grow by 5.8 to 6.3% in 2025. So if we look at that potential drivers for 2025, you have just infrastructure spending. Hopefully, we're expecting recovery of the consumer sector. Hopefully, we'll be able to triumph inflation. But again, that remains a challenge in the near term. And of course, we're expecting the tailwinds from the national election spending. So that should try to cling to close to a 6% GDP growth, he explained. However, he admitted it will be challenging to achieve due to Trump's trade war. Manuel Antonio Tihanki, the Philippine ambassador to the World Trade Organization, previously said at Business 360 that Trump's tariff threats will not affect the Philippines due to its strong relations with the U.S. In other news, Philippine authorities arrested around 100 people on Friday in a raid on a suspected online scam firm in Manila. They said extorted victims. The raid in the Makati Financial District was part of a crackdown against online crime operators that often act under the guise of gaming firms. Agents from the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, and the National Bureau of Investigation, armed with assault rifles, surrounded two offices of a lending agency and arrested the suspects as they worked side by side at computers. The suspects, many of them young Filipinos, allegedly sought out victims via TikTok and other social media, offering collateral-free loans of up to 25,000 pesos. Borrowers were charged 35% weekly interest, and those who fell behind on payments were harassed, humiliated, and threatened with having their personal information spread online. PAOK Director Gilberto Cruz told reporters at the scene. The suspects could be charged with fraud and other violations under the country's cybercrime laws, he added. The raided company, We Will Tech Corp, required the victims to provide personal information and family photographs, which the scammers then used for threats, according to Cruz. Some victims of similar scams have reported having coffins and funeral wreaths delivered to their homes, he said. Authorities are checking the nationality of the owners, who said, adding that they had arrested Chinese suspects running similar operations in the past. The scam farm owners are suspected to be the remnants of online gaming operators that were banned under orders of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. last year, he said. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime has tagged Southeast Asia as ground zero of global scamming operations that the authorities say are run mainly by Chinese origin crime organizations. All ears to this news. The Food and Drug Administration has issued a warning against the sale and use of two beauty products from influencer entrepreneur Rosemary Tan Pamulaklaken, also known as Rosmar. As confirmed by post-marketing surveillance, the premium niacinamide soap and mysterious Madre de Cacao soap under the Rosmar Skin Essentials brand do not meet regulatory requirements. The FDA emphasized that the use of unregistered cosmetics can result in skin irritation, allergic reactions, and even organ failure due to harmful contaminants. Since then, authorized cosmetic products have not gone through the notification process of the FDA, the agency cannot assure their quality and safety, noted Dr. Samuel Sacate, FDA Director General. Rosmar acknowledged the advisories but claimed that the FDA has consistently rejected her applications for certificates of product notification, even for products previously approved by the agency. We are always complying with the FDA, but they are rejecting our applications, despite the long time the FDA takes to approve our products, she said. While some of Rosmar Skin Essential products are FDA approved, this is not the first time the brand has faced scrutiny. The FDA flagged other beauty items like soaps, food supplements, and skincare products sold by the vlogger in 2023. This latest advisory highlighted concerns with Rosmar's beauty line, which has a large online following with over 22 million TikTok followers and nearly 1.4 million on Facebook. Furthermore, she is running as independent candidate for councilor in Manila's 1st District in the upcoming May 2025 elections, which withdrew her candidacy last minute of Friday. The FDA has directed enforcement teams to work with local authorities to remove any violative products from the market. Consumers are encouraged to report any sales or adverse reactions from these products. And in sports, San Miguel Birmen, decade-long streak of playoff appearances has come to an end. The defending champions failed to advance in the PBA Season 49 Commissioner's Cup, marking their first absence from the postseason in 10 years. Their fate was sealed after NLEX secured a crucial 94-76 victory over Eastern at the Smart Araneta Coliseum on Wednesday, January 29. The win gave the Road Warriors their sixth victory in 12 games, keeping their playoff hopes alive and guaranteeing at least a shot at the 8th and final postseason spot. With the Beermen finishing at 5-7, their campaign came to a disappointing end. The franchise, known for its dominance and championship pedigree, is struggled to keep pace with the competition this season. Their failure to qualify for the playoffs marks the end of an era of consistent postseason success. According to PBA chief statistician Fidel Mangonon, the last time San Miguel missed the playoffs was in the 2015 Commissioner's Cup. This early exit serves as a stark contrast to their casual dominance, leaving fans wondering what's next for the powerhouse team. A quick roundup of today's headlines. With a budget of over 7 billion pesos, Marcos vows more airport upgrades until 2028. Marcos Lam's budget petition calls it destabilization effort. The BI says alleged Chinese spies embedded themselves in the Philippines with perfect records. The Manila LGU says funding for Isla Puting Bato relocation yet to materialize. High inflation expectations hinder economic goals, according to an economist. The Philippines arrests 100 suspects in online scam farm raid. Vlogger Rosa Martin's beauty soaps flagged by the FDA. And in sports, San Miguel eliminated from playoffs for the first time since 2015. And those are the source making headlines today, Feb 1, 2025. For Newsline Weekend, I'm Raymond Kaibigan. Keep it here on Radyo Natin To. Good morning.
Mas pinalakas na pagbabalita, komentaryong walang mintis, iba't ibang entertainment. Radyo natin to. Radyo natin